Hi, Mr. Pata. Hi, Ian.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
No, I'm great. I'm here at Standard Bank's offices.
So, Blockchain Research Institute Africa is the Africa think tank. It was launched by the Standard Bank Group and BRI. Can you please enlighten us about that?
So we realize that in Africa, we don't want to use blockchain use cases that we just copy from other jurisdictions and other continents. We know that there is unique needs in Africa to drive its growth, and we want to match almost applications of blockchain to the needs that we experience, also given our footprint in Africa. So the purpose of BRI Africa is to give people across the continent access to the research that's being done by BRI. It's the leading global blockchain think tank in the world. So we want to provide that. And then through BRI Africa, we also want to enable syndicated research. So companies coming together to say, here are use cases that addresses the specific needs of Africa. And then we do that research in such a way that we actually don't only provide knowledge to people, but almost an understanding of blockchain and its capabilities. So there's an educational component to it as well, based on understanding. And then how do you execute? How do you implement those use cases as well?
Yeah. And for a person like myself, blockchain is a whole new thing. It's the first time I'm hearing of something of that sort. How do we begin to understand blockchain?
There's lots of opportunities to understand it. If you think about blockchain as a platform, there's a lot of free training available today on the internet. Blockchain essentials. And if you look at the metaverse, there's also certificates available for that. Through BRI Africa, we also provide access to training materials from Don and Alex Tapscott on Coursera that enables people to understand blockchain applications in business, existing and new business models. And that's important. It takes time. It is a paradigm shift. To really fully understand it, you've got to read about it and you've got to make sure that you understand it, because it's not operating and working the same way that we're doing things today. But if you understand it, there's a fantastic opportunity for every person to actually maybe start new businesses, because it reduces a lot of the buffers to entry that infrastructure and technology causes today. So that understanding can only come through really looking at practical applications and use cases that's available today, if it makes sense to you.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. And I do know that you recently hosted the Global Startup Awards Summit in Cape Town last month. And if I'm correct, that was the first, right? In South Africa, yes. In Africa. So what does that mean for South Africa and Africa as a whole?
Well, it means it creates a network. Firstly, a lot of people have brilliant ideas, and there is not always the support from initial capital and funding, right through to connecting those startups with networks, and corporations and banks like Standard Bank's got a platform across Africa. Yeah. So if you partner with those fintechs and you give them the support to say, you've got the solution, here's the application, there's an opportunity to take this further, and guidance and education, that can help a lot of those startups to take those ideas from initial ideas and startups to actually connect to a bigger network and make a difference in a lot of people's lives.
Awesome. And there's W3B, if I'm saying it right, 2022 in November. It's at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. Please tell us about that event and how people could possibly get involved.
In November?
Yeah.
From a startup perspective?
Yes.
Yes, there will be information provided and access on social media platforms. And if people follow on the Blockchain Research Institute Africa website, if people go BRI Africa, there will be posts that enable people to connect and get links. Also through Loudhailer, that's the company that's driving a lot of these events.
Also, Ian, how are you bridging the gap between the technological functionality, rather, of blockchain and the real market's need?
So what I spoke to about earlier is actually our key approach is to connect with communities. And then the most important thing is to connect communities across Africa.
Yeah.
So that people talk to each other and understand use cases that is available. And then what I said earlier is vital. The research that we're doing very specifically focus on community needs as opposed to corporation and bigger needs, if it makes sense. So we will go to communities in Kenya, South Africa, Nigeria, wherever we are, mobilize those thinking, and then provide a platform where people can communicate. And then we fill the knowledge and the understanding gaps by exposing people to opportunities and service providers and platforms that could address those needs.
Interesting.
It's a mouthful.
Pardon?
It's a mouthful.
It is quite a mouthful. And what I'm thinking is that it contributes to innovation in terms of the sustainable development goals, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're looking at sustainability. That's crucial for us. Food, land, homeowners, all those things that's essential in Africa, medical services,
yeah,
all those aspects. How do you connect all of it and really address the needs of the people that require it the most in a decentralized way where the services are democratized? Even internet access, broadband internet access that's not expensive.
Yeah.
How do you provide that to people? And there are service providers I just met with that actually provides that at a very, very cheap, in a very, very cheap way. But you've still got to open and remove the barriers of regulation and control to enable those people to provide those services.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ian. This marks the end of our interview. Thank you. We appreciate your time.